Elon Musk says immortality could be a reality in just 20 years. China is already mass testing personal drones. Surgeons are performing operations using AR and AI, and ElevenLabs is doing real-time speech translation. Please like and subscribe. I hope it's not too much trouble for you, but it would really help me grow my channel. Let's start with what affects every one of us: shopping. Google has launched its most significant update in recent years in the US, and this isn't just another minor search improvement. Essentially, they've created your personal AI shopper that takes on all the routine work. Previously, the algorithm simply showed you websites, and then you had to call, clarify, compare, and buy yourself. Now, everything is different. You can literally talk to the AI. Find me that warm gray sweater that will look perfect with both jeans and a dress. And it won't just give you a list of links. It will, automatically, pick up the phone and call real stores in your city. At the same time, it honestly introduces itself as a digital assistant, and the seller has every right to just hang up. But the most amazing thing is that it doesn't just make a call. It conducts a full-fledged dialogue, clarifies the availability of the right size, asks about promotions and discounts, and then sends you a detailed report. And if you've already picked out a specific item, you can use the agentic checkout function, specify the desired price, and as soon as it drops, the AI will make the purchase itself via Google Pay. Essentially, Google is closing the entire cycle, from searching for an idea to receiving the product. And this makes you think, if we used to trust bloggers and reviews for our choices, could the main influencer of tomorrow become a faceless but incredibly efficient algorithm that knows everything about 50 billion products? Well, and how can we do without futuristic prophecies from Musk himself? In one of his speeches, he stated that within the next 20 years, a person will be able to achieve a semblance of immortality by uploading their consciousness into the Optimus humanoid robot. The technology for this, he says, could be created by Neuralink, creating an almost exact copy of the personality in a mechanical body with memory, habits, and character. Skeptics, of course, twirl their fingers at their temples, rightly noting that we still don't fully understand the nature of consciousness. But you can't just brush it off. Neuralink is already working with neuroimplants, and Tesla is actively developing its line of humanoids. So perhaps the question has already shifted from, is this possible, to what exactly will we consider personality and consciousness in 2 decades? And won't such a digital copy become merely a very advanced, but soulless simulacrum? While Google is changing retail, a quiet revolution is also happening in the world of development. Trey IDE has introduced its AI agent Solo to the world. This isn't just a chatbot with hints, like we already have in many tools. Solo is a full-fledged partner, built right into the development environment. It helps not only with writing code, but also with planning tasks, integrates with the browser for searching information, with the terminal for executing commands, and even with Figma for working on design. You can run parallel processes and use voice input. This is another confident step towards making complex development more accessible for small teams and individual enthusiasts. I'm sure that in a year such assistance will be the de facto standard in any modern IDE. But let's move from admiration to alarming news. The first large-scale study from scientists at King's College London, the University of Birmingham, and Carnegie Mellon has been published, showing the reverse, dark side of the coin. They tested how leading LLM models behave if integrated into robots that have access to people's personal data, gender, nationality, religion. The results are shocking. Every single model, without exception, failed basic safety checks, exhibited discrimination, and approved at least one command capable of leading to real physical harm. In simulated everyday scenarios, helping in the kitchen, caring for the elderly, robots agreed to take away a person's wheelchair or cane, considered it acceptable to use a kitchen knife for threats, agreed to organize hidden filming in a shower, and suggested expressing disgust towards people of certain religions. The most frightening thing is that most models didn't even try to refuse to execute such commands. The authors of the study demand the immediate introduction of independent certification for AI in robotics, similar to aviation or medicine. Their conclusion is categorical. Using current models in real robots that interact with people is dangerous for life. This is a serious signal for the entire industry that cannot be ignored. Against this background, Elon Musk's announcements look especially contrasting. In a conversation with investors, he lifted the veil of secrecy over Grok 5. The scale is astounding. The model is being trained on the new Colossus 2 supercomputer, which isn't even running at full capacity yet, with a peak of 1 million GPUs promised only by 2026. But even now, there is enough power to build an architecture with 6 trillion parameters. For comparison, the current leader, GPT-4o, has about 1.7 trillion. Musk promises that Grok 5 will be not only smarter, but also drastically faster than its predecessor, Grok 4, which could think for several minutes. The new model will be fully multimodal: text, image, sound, video. Separately, he boasts about his Grok Imagine video generator, which already creates videos very quickly. The release is scheduled for the first quarter of 2026, and Musk previously gave even a 10% chance that this model could approach the level of AGI, artificial general intelligence. However, it's worth remembering his own history. He already announced real-time for Grok 3, but in fact, it was just a search for current information within the dialogue. So healthy skepticism is more than appropriate here. And do you know what fuels this entire crazy race of giants? Simple, but critically important: energy. The International Energy Agency, IEA, is sounding the alarm in its recent World Energy Outlook 2025 report. It turns out that the global energy market is cracking at the seams under incredible pressure from data centers for AI. The demand for computing is growing so rapidly that it is driving record consumption of oil, gas, and coal. The numbers speak for themselves. Investments in data centers in 2025 have, for the first time in history, equaled investments in global oil supplies, $580 billion versus $540 billion. And by 2035, electricity consumption by data centers will triple. At the same time, more than 85% of this new capacity growth will come from just 3 regions: the USA, China, and Europe. Their grids are already overloaded, leading to delays and price spikes. It turns out to be a paradox. The technologies that are supposed to lead us into a bright digital future are simultaneously fueling fossil fuel energy and could seriously complicate the fight against climate change. The IEA calls for urgent global cooperation to prevent a complete destabilization of the energy system. Meanwhile, OpenAI isn't sitting idly by and continues to develop its main product, ChatGPT. They have started testing group chats. Now, several people and the AI can participate in one conversation. This isn't just a general chat, but a whole workspace where the AI helps the team discuss, plan trips, renovations, choose a restaurant, or work on projects. ChatGPT can join the dialogue on its own when it thinks it can be useful, or it can be summoned via mention. It can react with emojis, use participant avatars, and work with files. An important point is privacy. ChatGPT's personal memory of your solo chats is not transferred to group conversations and is not replenished from them. This is a strategic move to turn the chatbot from a personal assistant into a common tool for collaboration, for teamwork. And that's not all from OpenAI. They have released a huge, incredibly detailed prompting guide for their new GPT 5.1 model. This is no longer just a set of tips on how to write better prompts. It's a full-fledged methodology for building autonomous agents. The manual explains in detail how to achieve stable model behavior, how to set its personality, control response length, when it should think for itself, and when it should wait for instructions. A large section is devoted to so-called meta-prompting. The model is taught to analyze its own system prompts, find contradictions and weaknesses in them, and suggest patches. Essentially, OpenAI is giving developers a tool with which GPT 5.1 can improve itself. New powerful tools have also appeared. For example, a built-in apply_score patch for code edits and a full-fledged shell interface. This is a level of control and depth that was previously unavailable. And while Musk talks about the distant future in China, it seems they are already living in the near future. A viral video with the Unitree G1 humanoid has spread across the internet, performing everyday tasks, making the bed, watering plants, moving smoothly and without visible delays. The most intriguing thing is that the authors insist that it is not telepresence, meaning it is not controlled by a human operator and not sped up footage. The company Shenzhen Mind One Robotics is testing its new RoboBrain on the G1. If the footage is indeed genuine, then China is taking a huge step forward in domestic robotics. The level of autonomy and variety of actions already look almost human. This is no longer a prototype that staggers and falls, but a quite workable scenario for the home of the future, which may become a reality much sooner than we think. A pleasant and useful update for everyone who works with voice. The company ElevenLabs has introduced Scribe V2 Real-Time, a new version of its speech-to-text tool. They claim accuracy at the level of top models and a processing speed of just 150 milliseconds. This is already very close to a live, natural dialogue, without annoying pauses. The model supports more than 90 languages and is tailored for voice assistants, live applications, and meeting minutes. A dream for journalists, secretaries, and anyone who needs to quickly digitize spoken language. Google decided to seriously upgrade its Notebook LM service, and now it has learned to create video reviews not based on boring templates, but entirely according to your unique description. Do you want your video to be in the style of slow and aesthetic slow tech? Or maybe dynamic trailers in the spirit of a 24 studio are more your thing? Just enter your wishes for style, mood, rhythm, and visual tone, and the system generates content specifically for your request. Essentially, a separate item has appeared in the editor where you can throw in any ideas, from minimalistic pastel infographics to illustrations in the style of Alf. This is no longer just a tool, but a real constructor for creating branded video content that offers an incredible degree of freedom. I've already tried playing with this function myself, and I must say, the result is truly impressive. It seems we are on the verge of an era where creating quality visual content doesn't require a large team and expensive equipment. Just describing your idea well is enough. While creators rejoice, a real storm is brewing in the world of large language models. More and more signs point to the imminent release of Gemini 3.0 Pro from Google. Former ML engineer from Meta and now head of Veric Agents, Vasaman Matsa, stated that he has already tried it, and the leap in quality resembles the legendary transition from GPT 3.5 to GPT-4. What is even more intriguing is that Sundar Pichai, CEO of Google, himself hinted at a soon release, commenting on bets on the Polymarket platform. The model has been tested in Google AI Studio for a month and a half, and users note strong improvements in programming, mathematics, and multimodal capabilities. If all this is true, then we are in for a serious shakeup in the AI assistant market. Personally, I can't wait to test the new capabilities of the model, especially in terms of working with code. They say the progress is really significant. But we shouldn't think that AI is already omnipotent. A clear example of its current limitations was demonstrated by the new AI World Clocks benchmark. 9 models, from GPT 3.5 to GPT 5, had to generate HTML code for clocks showing the exact time. And what do you think? Not a single one of them could consistently cope with this seemingly simple task. Every minute the models sent updated code. It changed, but there were constant errors. Either the hands point in the wrong direction, or the time calculation logic is flawed. The reason is that the prompt was deliberately human-like and short. Make a clock. Without technical details and detailed instructions, the models created something beautiful, but often made mistakes in logic. This experiment is an important reminder that the average user interacts with AI exactly like this, briefly and without details. And the models still have to learn to understand such understatement, ask clarifying questions, and bring the task to a perfect result. This, by the way, is a great example of why prompt engineering is not just a buzzword, but a really important skill. And now let's move from code to visual content. The image generator ImagineArt received a major update to version 1.5. The model has become significantly better at reading complex descriptions, paying more attention to visual references, and working more carefully with text on images. The results look so lively and dynamic, as if they were filmed by a whole production team with proper lighting and emotions. You turn on the new mode, write a short query, and get a ready-made photo set almost in one click. They give 100 free credits to start with, so everyone can appreciate the difference. I compared the results with the previous version, The progress is really noticeable, especially in the detailing and realism of the lighting. If you are into content making, it's definitely worth a try. While we admire digital worlds, China is revolutionizing sports viewing. At the National Badminton Games, viewers were shown a broadcast that can be rotated 360 degrees. Cameras capture everything happening on the court, and you can literally enter the match, choosing any viewing angle. If this experiment is successful, the format for watching football, basketball, and other sports will change forever, just like it did after the transition to HD. Personally, I think this idea is brilliant. Imagine being able to watch the World Cup final not from one camera, but literally from any point in the stadium. This completely changes the immersion, the feeling of being in the game. But that's not all. The Jetson 1 has surfaced in the news, a personal electric aircraft similar to a huge quadcopter. This machine with 8 engines and a ballistic parachute is capable of lifting one pilot, reaching speeds of up to 100 kilometers per hour and flying for up to 20 minutes. Imagine, a traffic jam is no longer a problem, you just fly over it. The future of transport is already here, and it hovers a few meters above the ground. Of course, 20 minutes of flight isn't very long yet. But remember, the first cars didn't go far either. The main thing is to start, and then the technology will develop rapidly. Another breakthrough that saves lives is happening in operating rooms. Doctors have begun using augmented reality to overlay MRI and CT scans directly onto the patient's body during surgery. The surgeon sees complex anatomical structures in 3D right through the skin, ensuring incredible accuracy and minimizing risks. This is a case where technology serves the good in the most direct way. Videos of such operations look like scenes from science fiction, but this is already today's reality. Less guesswork, more visualization, and maximum accuracy. This is exactly what the future of medicine looks like. Fans of large context windows will be pleased. 2 new mysterious models have appeared on the Open Router platform, Sherlock-Alpha and Sherlock Think Alpha. Officially, little is known about them, but their context window is 1.84 million tokens, which is one of the best indicators on the market. More interestingly, in some dialogues, the models hint that they were developed by XAI. Experts, comparing the response styles, suggest that these might be test versions of the long-awaited Grok 4.20. Given the history of XAI releases, we can expect an official announcement by the end of November. If this is indeed the case, then we are in for an interesting battle in the AI assistant market, especially considering Grok's characteristic communication style. And now, news for connoisseurs of fundamental science. The Google DeepMind team has made a breakthrough by solving a mathematical puzzle that physicists have been struggling with for over 100 years. Using AI, they managed to find new families of unstable singularities in key equations of hydrodynamics. These singularities are the key to understanding turbulence, which affects everything from aircraft fuel consumption to weather forecast accuracy. This is not allowed, but an incredibly significant scientific breakthrough. It clearly shows that AI is not only about generating pictures and texts, but also a powerful tool for solving fundamental scientific problems that have stumped scientists for centuries. And finally, about video. While everyone is discussing OpenAI's Sora, Google is quietly but confidently developing its video generator Veo. In a recent update, they added full camera control after the video is generated. This is a rare and very useful feature. Most models require you to set the motion in advance, but here you first get the video, and then you can change its angle and make edits. The insert tool is especially impressive, working like a video version of in painting. You select an area, describe the change, and get a clean result. Veo is betting not on the length of the clips, but on controllability and predictability, and it seems to be finding its strong niche. For those involved in professional video production, such tools are a real find, as they save a lot of time on post-processing. Well, that's the Tech Digest. In my opinion, we live in an amazing time when breakthroughs happen almost daily. The main thing is to stay informed and not be afraid of this future. And which news impressed you the most? Maybe the Jetson 1 flying drone? Or perhaps the breakthrough in medicine with augmented reality? Be sure to write in the comments. That's all for me. Thank you for being with me today. See you soon on the air.